the wake of the Bear Stearns bailout, all three presidential candidates have provided new proposals to address the mortgage crisis and the weakening economy that many have already defined as a recession. With rising prices and stagnant wages, how is this economic crisis affecting working Americans?
As a taxi driver, communicating with the average American of every ethnic, educational, and economic backgrounds, that is the first worry people have today. The fact that we are paying as taxi drivers $3.50, for a gallon of gasoline, and the service costs, everything is going high, while we are making relatively the same amount of money for the last 10, 20 years.
Yeah, this time it's kind of slow, like the last 2-3 weeks, it's kind of slow. Hopefully the gas prices went up. I think that affecting us as well.
Do you know anyone who's lost their house?
Yeah, I know. Friend of mine, 2-3 of them, they lost because of this gas prices went up, and they couldn't afford their mortgage and they lost their house. For individuals, if they fix that's 2 years, 1 year's term, that the mortgage, if they fix that, it would help for so many houses,
Yeah, the prices have been going up, all the gas prices, the food prices, everything is more expensive. So it's definitely, we have changed our habits, to accommodate that. All the money has gone outside for our troops and for the wars, and I think that's why the currency, the dollar is dropping. So
Do you think the U.S. government can do anything about it?
I believe so.
What can they do?
By bringing the troops home. Simple as that. I think that will put the country on the right track. I do believe so.
Do you think it'll help the economy?
I think so. Yes.
It's a corporate
Look
man.
at cost of living.
Everywhere. The cost of living going
Cost
high,
of living,
rent.
everything going up. Gasoline,
Yeah.
housing, even groceries, stamps, everything going up.
What can government do about it?
Government, they have people that specialize. Their specialties is just to work on that, like economists, guys like the Fed. Okay, you see, this is inflation right now.
Yeah.
They have to give people raise to meet up with inflation.
Why do so many Americans borrow?
Part of the American dream, trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to get the next bigger car, the next bigger house.
Why is that the American dream?
That's what we taught as a child. Get a house, family in the car, white picket fence, and you buy into it. And today, credit card is the biggest thing you can get these things. Debt. Banks must make money to get the school system, to go to college. You got to get in debt.
And people aren't making enough to buy the dream without going in debt.
You can't.
It's education,
Stuff
though.
is
Like
just
I said
too high
before, it's
nowadays.
education.
And why aren't people making as much as they used to? People used to be able to afford the American dream without borrowing so much.
NAFTA.
Why NAFTA?
All the jobs going overseas. What's made in America nowadays? Cars. That's about it. And they're not doing too well. Japan is making better cars than America is.
People are becoming very submissive. And this has to go, or we will continue to have the same economic problems, political problems, our standing in the world, the image of the United States, and so on.
When the news is bad, everything is bad. On the other side of that, somebody's making some money.
But are you making that money?
Oh, I'm learning to be just like that. I'm learning to follow in the footsteps of those guys. Anyway, when they bailed out Chrysler, that was a bailout. Didn't it help them?
But what about homeowners? Should they be bailing out homeowners too?
Nope. Everybody make their own choices out here, and that's what happens. But it's fear and greed. Supply and demand, fear and greed.
Most of the taxi drivers I've spoken with today don't expect politicians to solve their financial problems. But few hesitate to put at least part of the blame for this economic crisis on the current administration. This is Matthew Pilevsky, Washington, The Real News.